Welcome to Couple Moves Away, the podcast. I am joined by my lovely wife and co-host, Karina Cohen.
Hi, guys. Karina.
Today, we're going to be letting you guys know that you are just a couple moves away from knowing us as a couple and where we come from. So, we'll let you start with...
It's the intro podcast. Yeah. So why is it called Couple Moves Away? Couple Moves Away, it stands for just that. You're a couple moves away from a healthy relationship, a couple moves away from your fitness goal, a couple moves away from...
understanding stocks, understanding finance and budgeting.
Mm-hmm. Anything in life that you want to... anything in life that you want to, accomplish or achieve, you're a couple moves away. And with that mindset is just the fact that you have to be intentional. You have to have a vision, execute a plan, be intentional. So our hope is through this podcast, through conversations, to be able to maybe expand your mindset, open up your perspective to some things, information, education on some other things that worked for us, that kind of helped us get a few moves to where we are now. And we still have some ways to go, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. But we're only a couple moves away.
Only a couple moves away.
Why don't you start and tell us a little bit about Karina? Where did she come from? And how did you come to meet the handsome Jay Cohen?
Wow. Did you see the eye wink? So I'm a LA native, born and raised. My parents are from Mexico. They're immigrants. East LA, White Memorial, what's up? And that's kind of like where I was raised. I had a journey in entertainment, and I was living in Hollywood for, a few years of my adult life. And we'll get into the bio stuff later, but how did I come to meet this handsome Renaissance man?
The people want to know.
They want to know.
How do you land a me?
How do you land a me, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I'll go over that.
So there was a friend of mine who took me to a spin class. And at the time, Jay was teaching spin.
It doesn't show now, but I did used to really be in great shape.
As in cycling. We were both, to be fair, in great shape.
We're pregnant right now.
We're both pregnant.
Mind your business.
So I went to the spin class. It was, in all fairness, it was a great spin class. Like, the shit was booking out. You had to literally put your name in 2 weeks in advance. It was a great class. Great music, great vibe.
She ain't lying about that either.
I'm not lying about. I would never lie. Y'all know me. Y'all know I keeps it real. Here's where we're gonna have different varying stories though. So pay attention. Okay. So my version. Okay. Went to this class. About 2 weeks in, he gets me and my girlfriend's phone number. He says it's to keep us updated to any class updates.
Well, you just told the people it was a very packed class.
Again, which is why I bought it, okay? He was like, hey, my class does book out. I'm sometimes not here. I have to have subs, or whatever the case is. I communicate updates through a group thread. I'm like, okay, cool, harmless. So I gave him my number. And my girlfriend... No, I did not. Hold on. And my girlfriend gave him the number too. I want to insert, to this day, never got an update.
Oh, she got the text.
I got a text.
You know what I'm saying? She got the text.
I got a text, but I ain't never get no damn update. So we're going to fast forward.
Update, you going to be my wife.
You almost missed out on that blessing, sir. Let's discuss how you pawned me off to one of your friends. We're going to get to that. Okay. So we move forward. About maybe 3 weeks later, he would do this thing in between class where we would have a little mid-ride break. Kind of stretch, kind of catch our breath a little bit, because they were great classes. And during those little 10 minutes, he would give class updates about people in the class. Like, hey, so-and-so has a backpack drive, for the school, if you want to support. So-and-so has a food truck support. So he would give, I thought, really great community updates. All of a sudden, he goes, oh, and Karina over there has a stand-up show on Friday. I used to do stand-up. Yeah, some of y'all didn't know this. I used to do stand-up, so I had a stand-up show on Friday, and I'm like, how did he know? So I'm looking at my girl, Michelle, yo, did you tell him? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, this man is Instagram stalking me. So we move forward, and about a week later, he's like, hey, I see you're single. I got a buddy I'm gonna hook you up with. And I'm like, first of all, sir, how would you even gather that? He was like, I can just tell on your social media, you look single. You look single based on my social media.
Basically, you look lonely.
And so he was like...
You look like you need a man.
He was like, I got this buddy, he seems like he'd be your type. He's tall, like a lawyer, I'll set it up. And as he's walking off, I yell out, I'm not dating right now. He turns back, he goes, yeah, I'll set it up. And I'm like, no, I'm not dating. He was walking off. what just happened? So we'll fast forward like another 2-3 weeks. I get a text. I got the text he just referred to earlier. I got a text.
You got the text.
I got the text, okay? And it was like, it was after a Tuesday night class. He had a Tuesday night class.
Oh, she remembers the day.
I remember the day,
So
okay?
she knows it was the text.
No, because here's why.
I don't remember what day it was. It was just
It was a two, because I had gone to class that night. 'Cause I remember, girls remember, okay? So I had gone to class that night before. I had gone to your class. I had went to school earlier. And then I was doing homework that night after spin class. And it was like around 8:39. And he was like, hey, what are you up to? I'm looking at my phone like, it is almost 9 p.m. Like, who do you think you're texting right now? Some little hood rat hooch mama? So
she responded though.
I did respond because I was like, I was baffled. I was like intrigued. Like, why are you texting me? I was like, I'm doing homework. I was so like, it went over my head. And he was like, oh, I just want to see if you're hungry. And I took a screenshot of that and sent that to my girl, Michelle. And I was like, is he doing what I think he's doing? And I went, full transparency, a gym fuck boy. He's some trainer. He's some player. I ain't got time for this. Whoop-de-whoop. And she's like, I hadn't been dating for almost like a year at that time. And she's like, Karina, it's time for you to get out there. You got to start dating at some point. It's just dinner. You're not going to marry the guy.
Joke's on you, Michelle.
I swear to you, the local was what she said. You're not going to marry the guy, go to dinner. Well, fast forward, we actually had a juice date to which he showed up looking like a complete tool. Respectfully.
Fellas, make sure that you guys take them for juice first, just in case they get on your nerves.
I don't disagree with this. I've told all my homeboys, like, don't waste your time and money on like these expensive ass dates. Take them on a Starbucks date or a juice date or whatever.
They say women don't want that no more, though.
Well, I do. I'm a busy lady myself.
Right.
So I ain't got time for like big ass dinners, and I don't like you either. Like,
and I'm sitting there just wasting my time.
And my time.
Right. But a lot of girls are willing to do it just for a steak.
Unfortunate, ladies.
That's sad. Don't do that, ladies.
You're way more valuable. So at the time, I was like, cool, juice date, no problem. But it was the way he showed up to the juice date. Okay.
Well, first of all, I had just left. Hold on. Okay, I'll let you go.
Let me finish my story.
Land the plane, though.
So we go to this juice date. This dude shows up in a Hermes belt, like in a suit and shit. It's Tuesday at like 11:30. I'm in like this. I'm in sweats and stuff. It was a green juice date, okay? And I'm just like, this, eye roll. Here we go. Here comes this gym buff meathead talking about, yeah, girl, like I'm in real estate. And then he was. Then we go have dinner, right? Because everybody in LA is like a producer or real estate. So I'm like, oh God, here's this real estate buff beathead, whatever. So it was a great lunch date. Juice date. Then we had lunch, and then you had like an official dinner. So at dinner, we're getting to know each other. Like we're about an hour into our conversation. Great conversation.
Dinner was dope.
Dinner was great. It was a good time. It was a place called Home in Silver Lake. I'll never forget that. Because he became my home. You know. Aww. Ding. But at that time, I was like really surprised. I'm like, yo, like whether this goes anywhere, this guy's really cool. But the entire time, an hour and a half, I'm sitting here and he's telling me he's a single father, or he was a single father, he was in real estate, all these things he's telling me. And his name is Jay. And I'm like so confused. And I finally had to ask him. I'm like, hold on. So are you in real estate or are you a lawyer? And you're like, oh no, I'm in real estate. And I'm like, then who's this guy who he had said his name was Justin? I'm like, is Jay short for Justin, or who's the guy that you said was this tall lawyer dude I would like? He was like, oh, don't worry about him. What? I'm sorry. Back up. What? He goes into telling me that he had initially given my profile to this buddy of his and was kind of pushing me onto him. Like, yo, she seems cool. You know, you're single, he's single, you know. And I guess the buddy got tired of hearing you badger him about me. And he pretty much was like, listen, dude, if she's so dope, you take her out. And so he did.
Facts.
And so I'm sitting there like I'm a consolation prize, just being asked around before we even get to the dates. So that's pretty much how he almost missed his blessing in life. And that's how we met. That's how we met.
Yeah.
Let's hear your version, and then we'll get into how we got here.
Her version is she can have it. That's the version. That's the version.
I can have it? The
version is pretty close to what happened. But at the time, I wasn't really not looking to date like that. I was just, I was fresh out of something else, and I also wasn't dating. So then I saw her. I'm like, oh, she's bad. And then I tried to hook her up with a buddy of mine, and my buddy was like, he wasn't like following up. So I was like, yo, what's up? Like, you want to take her out? Like, what's up? What's she about? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh man, I'm busy right now. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. essentially he was like, dude, like she's that amazing, you should take her out. And I was like, well, maybe I will. And so then I took you out, and then I married you and put a baby in you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, but I mean, pretty much.
Listen, we're amongst family. Tell them what you tell our friends. I did.
Well, I mean, it's not what I tell them. It's the truth. So as she said, I was cycle teacher, right? So during, after, and during, we would have to stretch. And she was always doing all these extra stretches that would just try to catch my attention. First of all, she used to sit right in front of me so that whenever we would have to do like any kind of like butt back exercise or anything, she could show me her boobs from a crop top.
That's what he thought.
That's literally what she was trying to do.
That's what he thought.
But I mean, I peeped it, but
I
I
was
like,
just
okay.
having proper form. I was focused on my form.
She's a little desperate. It's cool.
Okay.
No big deal. And then I would be like, hey, we're going to stretch our arms. And then she'd be in a full split. And I'm like, why are you in the split?
First of all.
Okay, that's cool. Whatever.
Just because I am flexible.
I was like, all right, she'd have her leg in her mouth. And then why are you doing that? That's not, we're doing shoulder rolls. But so she was trying to throw it at me is basically what I'm trying to tell you guys.
That's his version.
So I pretty much was like, geez, I got to rescue this poor little girl before she just ends up, stalking me or something like that. So I pretty much married her out of fear.
Or she could have ended up with Justin.
Yeah, exactly. Or she could have been in with Justin. Lame,
out of fear. Wow.
So yeah, so that's that's pretty much
that's how we met.
How we met.
I get that question a lot. Like, how do you meet someone like Jay? How did y'all? Because I don't know, girls or even guys think like you have to be in a certain environment to meet a quality person.
Erewhon.
Erewhon.
Where they can afford $400 worth of groceries.
That's a thing.
No, I think that you have to. I think a good place to meet people is places where you align, right?
Yep.
So a lot of times people are always like, well, where am I going to meet them? Blah, 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 blah. Like, and I think you have to be, if you're into fitness, then meet someone who's into fitness. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing is if you're into fitness and the person that you're dating is not, then you're already coming out 1-0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you want to find people who are aligned with things that you're really to. And then not only that, the one that I hate to hear is whenever you hear people start complaining that so-and-so wasn't into whatever it is that they're into. Mm-hmm. When they're like, he never wants to attend the theater with me. Well, if you're that passionate about the theater, go meet someone at the theater.
I'm going to say something really unpopular right now.
What's that?
Don't pounce on me. But I always knew they're going to pounce. I'm ready. I always knew I would never date a fat person.
Damn.
And I don't mean like,
I'm a little chubby.
No, honey, that's not.
You put me on the
that's not.
Notice?
Listen, and I mean this. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I mean this respectfully, right? Somebody who is like morbidly obese, unhealthy, doesn't want to even change that, right? I always knew, to what you're saying, realistically speaking, I'm an active person. I like hiking. I was spinning. I like beaches. I like traveling. Even now that I'm traveling more, the fact that I can go to a certain temple in Malaysia and walk these 500 stairs, you want to be able to meet somebody that you align with. It's not a superficial thing. It's a lifelong thing. Can I really share my life with you? And it'd be different again if this person was like active and wanted to do some things and maybe just needed the extra motivation.
Yeah.
But if this person was just fully content and just like, I don't want to say lazy, but like just content and didn't want to change their life any kind of way, whether it's financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally, I knew I could not align with someone like that.
And I think that's a great word that you just used right there is alignment, right? Mm-hmm. It's like if you're not aligned with that person, then take that as a sign. A lot of times people are like, I didn't see the red flags, or I didn't see that is alignment is a flag, right? So if you're not aligned with somebody, then if you're really into religion and then you're dating an atheist, right? Like you're not aligned. So you already can see that there's going to be a hurdle in the future. In the future. Right.
As you guys get closer and do life.
Yeah. And so to your point, if you're somebody who you like to hike and be outside and do things that are active, and you date someone who let's not say, I think it was great that you said that so that you guys can chill out with your Twitter fingers.
Yeah, chill out.
Plus, let me just say this before we even start this podcast. I want you guys to realize that not only do I love my wife, but I also have the money and the resources. Don't say nothing too out of pocket. Be respectful. I will always be respectful to you, but we do love your opinion.
Disclaimer in case y'all couldn't tell, he's very protective.
And I'm good with IP address.
Right. I will fucking find you.
I will find you.
No, but I think that to your point was that if somebody is, let's say that that's not something they're passionate about or something they're not aligned about, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, there's a lot wrong with that, which we'll talk about that during our health episode. If somebody is like, hey, fitness is not my thing, that's not what I'm really into. I'm really into gaming. Well, then if you're somebody, let's say I'm a guy and I'm really into gaming, but I don't care about fitness. I don't care how I look. I don't care about any of that. Then I need to find somebody who's okay with that and is accepting of that. Because if I meet some gym rat, I'm never going to understand her lifestyle. She's never going to understand mine. And we're going to have all these problems in the future.
It just creates frustrations. And again, you can use any interchangeable, topic there. It could be finance. It could be religion. Like you said, it could be fitness. For me, I'm telling you who I am. I've run a half marathon. At the time was very active. That's not to say that I'm fully aware. I fluctuate in weight. We fluctuate in weight. I'm not saying that I'm not going to love someone as we change with time, but I'm saying the core values that I believe in has to align, because like you said, we're always evolving. At some point, you don't want to evolve too far away from each other. And more for me, more so, it wasn't the superficial, the looks of like, oh my God, you're getting heavier. It's as we get older, those, again, we'll talk about it in our, health conversation, but those things do become health issues. So now you're kind of taking life away from us. You're kind of putting yourself in positions that could be avoidable, whether it be hip issues, arthritis, what do you call it?
Gastritis.
Gastrointestinal, whatever that thing. We're going to put the word right here. Issues, all that stuff could be avoided. So for me, it comes from a healthy lifestyle. Again, not a perfectly six-pack ab person, but going back to the initial, thing, I think that's where you could find, finding people in the spaces that you enjoy being in. If you like church, go to church. If you like the gym, go to the gym. If you like
museums or art,
go to art shows and meet people that are going to kind of be in the same realm. And that's kind of how I feel you would meet people who are closer to your on your page, your
checklist.
Yeah.
And so bringing this back to our initial conversation, sort of where we got to where we are now, was that our first few dates, we were very much aligned. We found out that we were both very creative. We both like art. I'm really huge into fashion and arts. She's really huge into arts and cinema. So we clicked on a creative level. We clicked on our upbringing, which is crazy. We'll talk about that. Coming from a diverse background and a first-generation Mexican-American background. We'll talk about that in a future episode.
Both being divorcees.
Yep.
I also raised a son during my first marriage for 4 years. And then serendipitous, I was in his life from zero.
That was a big word, serendipitous.
Serendipitous. We'll put that here. Google that.
Make sure you put the definition in there too,
yes,
man.
the definition, right up in here.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Serendipitous. You guys,
No, I know what it
listen.
means.
Okay, great.
I've seen the movie.
I've seen the movie. So, I raised a son from conception to 4 years old. And then his previous wife raised his son from 5 to when I met y'all, like 15. Yeah. So it was just a weird alignment. But we aligned on many things. And also we aligned on, both of us were very straightforward. We weren't looking for shit. Yeah. We both didn't want a relationship. Again, I had come out of a crazy toxic relationship. We'll discuss later. He came out of a situation, so we both
really messy divorce.
We just didn't want to deal with anything serious.
Yeah. So I think that's honestly what helped us get here, was that we kind of like started out like
no expectation.
Let's just hang out and have fun. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times what happens is that people, and I think that we'll talk about this, is that I fell into the trap of, I don't want to lose this person, so let me just make them my girlfriend, as opposed to just keeping it like, hey, let's just enjoy whatever this moment is until it evolves into something worth talking.
And it isn't just, it's usually women that do this. Full transparency. Y'all know me. My voice is very fair. And a lot of the times when I make opinions or statements, women are like, oh my God, like you're so hard on us. Hell yeah, I'm hard on y'all. Because to me, I feel like y'all are the ones that make the world go around. We're the ones that are, P power. We independent. We do X, Y, and Z. Then y'all the ones fucking us up. So I'm very harsh on y'all, but I'm also very fair to like the male's perspective. So with that said, I just want to keep it 100. Typically, it's the woman that tries to live out a wishful thought. They want to force a square into a circle. And in this situation, by that time, I had been going to therapy like almost a year to kind of figure me out and figure out what happened with that previous situation and what not to fall back into, what not to repeat. So I remember him like wanting to make me his girlfriend. Well, first it was me. I remember I came to you and I was like, I'm catching feelings.
She's like, what are we doing?
I was like, but I was real about it, right? His perspective didn't change. He didn't verbalize anything. So I knew I'm the one changing the rules of engagement here. I'm the one that was like catching feelings now, and it had to be real with me. Like, why am I feeling, I was getting like really annoyed with you. Like, so I was like, what the fuck? What am I going through? And I'm like, oh my God, I think I like this guy. Shit. I'm like, all right. So I was like, hey, listen, I know you weren't looking for anything, finding myself catching feelings for you and really getting invested. So I'm going to fall back. And I fell back for like 2 weeks. And then when I did that, he kind of leaned in.
Yeah, because like I was like, no, wait, it's what was going was beautiful.
It was good.
It was beautiful. It's just, yeah. And you know what? There's a lot I learned a lot during that time anyway. I would have handled that differently. We'll talk about that in another episode as well. But I would have handled that differently if I knew then what I know now. We went through that and we just started aligning and kind of rocking with each other. We had a lot in common. And then we started spending more and more time together, and it sort of evolved, and it evolved into what you guys see now. And I think what a lot of times you guys see the end result of a lot of minor steps that we were taking along the way.
A lot of uncomfortable conversations, a lot of uncomfortable moments. That was one thing that I would say kind of has led us here is communication. No matter how uncomfortable, no matter how, even for girls, it's so hard for us to like be real. I think humans, but women especially, if you've been hurt or whatever, like we are really scared of sharing because how would he take it? What if he does X, Y, and Z? What if this happens? Man, just spit it out. Like if it's going to work, it's going to work. There shouldn't be any point in time where you have to suppress your feelings or just hold yourself back from a situation for fear of what it may do or not do. If it's meant for you, it'll flow. So I remember after that, it was like November. It was like September. I was like, yo, I'm catching feelings. Then it was like November where you kind of came back and you were like, listen, I think I want to, would you say I want to intentionally date you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be like,
because we were like unintentionally dating.
Yeah.
We were just dating.
And it was great. There was nothing wrong about that. Yeah. But I knew he had told me, my mom always said, listen to what a man says. He didn't want anything. So I'm setting myself up for a heartbreak. I'm setting myself up to put pressure on this situation that wasn't going to be a relationship, but I did at least voice that that's kind of what I think I was wanting. If he and I continued further, I would want more. And so I put that out there and I stepped back.
And then you also like left. That's right around when you started shooting that show, and then you were gone.
I was traveling a lot.
Mm-hmm. So you were gone for a while, and it kind of changed the dynamic of us and everything that we were going through. And during that time, I realized like, damn, I really miss her. And I remember I was still dating. I was out dating, and I was like, man, this ain't what I want it to be. I want her. And so then that's where we started, we made it more serious. But, jumping to where we are now, I think where you guys kind of met us was at our entrepreneurial stage. And I think a lot of you guys are interested in that. That journey alone is probably 2 or 3 episodes, I think. But to keep it, into this intro, basically, Karina and I got together and I was already in real estate. I had just come out of a really bad divorce. I was also doing some crazy, shady stuff that I'll talk about once the statute of limitations runs out. And my ex-wife had, we
told you it was we gonna keep it real.
She had threatened to tell on me if I wasn't giving her the X amount of dollars. And so I refused to give her X amount of dollars. Therefore, I couldn't do some of the shady stuff I was doing. And from that, we ended up, just starting this path that we were on. And so I took and I sold my real estate company right when I first met you, actually. Sold my real estate company, and that was really where my first bit of financial wealth had come into. I built this company. We'll have a career episode.
Yeah.
Let's do a career episode. But I sold this company for a significant amount of money. And then once I sold that company, I was kind of just like sitting around. I didn't really know what to do. A good buddy of mine introduced me to the logistics space. And then Karina and I have since then opened up 6 or 7 businesses since then. Yeah. And, we have our logistics companies. We have we're in the medical marijuana space. We're obviously in the entertainment space. We own some franchises and a real estate portfolio. But I think that our life work will fall in the J&K Cohen Family Foundation. So that's a whole nother show.
So, I mean, again, I think like you just said, a lot of people kind of met us at that stage and they're very interested as to how we do that. Like, how do y'all do that so well? You guys work well. You guys seem to really have an authentic relationship and not have many issues or problems or messy or drama. I think a lot of the inception of our relationship, how that was handled, how that was established. And there was one storm that we had up in there, which kind of almost broke us. We'll talk about that at a different stage. Coming through that, and I always say this, I think God prepared us before we had all of these opportunities. come to us. I think that God prepared our hearts, prepared our minds, prepared us to really see each other and choose each other and know how to work with each other. Before we actually worked with each other, we knew how to like communicate, handle problems, overcome adversities, have uncomfortable conversations. We learned how to fight without fighting.
Yeah. And I also think that we were also at a stage in our life where we were tired of fighting.
Yeah.
We wanted to fight together.
Together.
And I think that's a key thing for people to realize, that you have to be at a space in your life where you're ready to really be in a relationship. Not everyone's ready to be in a relationship, and I know that's hard to hear, and I know sometimes it gets tough being alone and stuff like that. But the reality of it is if you want something that's really, really healthy, you have to be in a space to be healthy. And it starts with you. It starts with, the individual. It starts with them getting to know themselves and getting to know what their likes and dislikes are. A lot of people don't even realize, I would strongly recommend reading the 5 love languages, understanding how you like love and how you receive love, and then starting to explore why. Explore why sometimes.
Why. Yeah.
Why do you receive love that way? Or was there some sort of childhood trauma that brought you into that?
And whenever somebody asks me, Karina, what's the reason, or what do you attribute to like finding, someone that loves you like this or has this dynamic with you? I'll always say it. And I know Jay's tired of hearing it. Therapy. Like, go fix your shit. Go heal your shit.
For the record, Karina recommends therapy for everything. I can stub my toe and she goes, "You want to talk to the therapist about that?"
Let's not get ridiculous, por favor. But yes, I do feel, because it's what he just said, though. It's what he just said. A lot of people go into relationships and they misrepresent themselves. It's not their fault entirely if they don't know exactly what they're ailing from, like what hurts them, what triggers them, what sets them off. All they know is they react. And I don't know why, but this is how I feel when this happens. You should know why. You should try to want to know why, to be able to maybe avoid certain traps, avoid certain blow-ups, avoid losing certain relationships. I know some people who are great friends, great human beings, but they don't do well in relationships, and that stems from, obviously, common denominator is you. So you should probably go figure out, man, like, what is that about myself, without judgment, but go figure out, like, why do I always end up in these types of relationships? Or why do I always end up ending like this? There's a reason for it. So kind of like what you're saying, I knew when I met Jay what I was looking for. At the time, I wasn't wanting to date anything seriously, but I knew who I was. I knew what my voids were. I knew what my traumas were. And it wasn't easy kind of getting back in the game after kind of having coaching, and then actually putting some of those things into practice. That's where I say it was uncomfortable to have certain conversations and actually call some of the shit out. Like, if he said something, I'd kind of have to muster up the courage to actually say, hey, like, that wasn't cool. And I had never seen that growing up. So, but all that to say, I think if both parties are doing that, then it's like both of y'all are carrying the weight. Both of y'all are doing the work. And I'm not responsible for your emotions. Neither are you to me. But if I teach you or I communicate with you that, hey, like, if you do this, if you push this button, you're going to get this result, then maybe out of respect and courtesy, you might not want to push the button. Or you might want to go, hey, honey, I'm going to have to touch this button. I'm going to have to. So brace yourself. Just those kinds of dialogues kind of help us kind of get through hard times. So
yeah. And that's kind of where, what's led us to this point with you guys. And we just hope to share, a little bit about the things that have got us to this point. And I think that the one big takeaway I want you guys there's 2 big takeaways I want you guys to take from this, is that one is that it started with a bunch of really small moves. It started with going back to my wife saying, I went to therapy. I put out a list of exactly what I was looking for in my partner. And there was things that I just was no longer willing to negotiate. And there was things that I would totally negotiate on. And then the second thing that I want you guys to realize is that whenever you see whatever you see, it's a product that has been worked on for a long time. It's not perfect. It is not, I would say, goals, right? It's my goal. Mm-hmm. I will say that. I will say that this relationship is my goals, and I made that. My wife made that. And we hope to share with you the many facets of, even when you see the fact that we own these businesses, or that we have this dynamic in our relationship, or you see this dynamic we have with our blended family. Whenever you see those things, they are steps that we took that were very, very direct. They were very intentional, and we had help along the way. We have amazing friends. Mm-hmm. We have a beautiful family that supports us. And I think that's what makes us what we are. So whenever people compliment me or my wife or my relationship or my son, it's the village. It's the village that we have is truly powerful. I mean, our circle of friends are fucking badass, you know, respectfully.
And for me, you know, when people see me and they're in my DMs, like whether it's my accomplishments, Karina, like, oh my God, I've been following you since, you know, 2014, 2016. I've been following you since Cholo was dry, since whatever. And I see you. I always caution, especially young women, anybody really, to his point. When you see what you see, my hope isn't that you make us goals. You don't make us like the destination. You don't make us the thing, because the reality of it is everyone has their own journey. You guys have your own lanes. You know, your success may not look like mine. Because this is like what was given to me. This is my calling. This is my vision. This is my journey. Yours may not be just this. With relationships, you know, there's no perfect man, no perfect relationship, no perfect woman. There's a perfect free. Ba-dum-bum. Leave it up to him with his humble self. But there's a perfect for me. There's a perfect for you. There's a person that will complement you just perfectly. And so with that, I think I would like for y'all to take away, just when you see us, see proof of possibility. That's what I think I want you to take away. Don't look at us and go, I want that. I want the car, the house, because those are things, and everyone may not have access to those things, and those things may not make everybody happy, you know? So I've always said it, find your it. If your it is a degree, if your it is to be a single mom that doesn't need nobody, if your it is to whatever your it is, go get after it, right? Have peace in it, find joy in it. The only thing I want you to look and see when you see me or us or we is that it's possible. That people who come from where we come from, who've had to deal with several adversities, you know, who've dealt with storms in relationships and finance and in family, the chaos that comes with family, we'll get into that, you know, we can still walk away from it happy, healthy, whole. That's kind of what I want y'all to take away from hearing us. And hopefully along the way, we can, again, inspire you, change your perspective, educate you in some ways. But I would never want the responsibility or the unrealistic expectation of being someone's goal. Because I'm human, I'm going to fuck up at some point.
So thank you guys for rocking with us. You know what I want to do is let's finish with this. Let's finish with a couple power moves. Let's finish with a medley. I'm going to ask you a question. You ask me a question. We'll go 3 each.
Okay.
Just random questions.
Okay.
All right. What is one thing, if you had to be abandoned on an island, that you would have to have with you? Can't have cell service.
I was about to say.
No cell phone service.
Well, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. No cell service on an island abandoned. Music. Music.
So you just sit there and just listen to Bob Marley.
Yeah, I just need music.
Until you get found.
Well, listen, music is healing. Music is fun. You'll end up dancing. Music can change your whole mood. So,
okay.
Music.
All right, your turn. You have one, or you want me to go again?
I wasn't prepared for this.
I know.
just
keep her on her toes, fellas.
Right. I have one.
Okay.
If you had to do anything over in your life, what would it be? How would you redo it?
I'm sure that I'll cover this somewhere in the podcast, but I have 0 things I would do over, because I feel like I'm somebody who lives my life through this led to that. Mm-hmm. So therefore, even the mistakes, we'll talk about probably one of the roughest times in our relationship. We'll talk about some of my biggest business downfalls. I wouldn't take any of them back. I am apologetic for many of them, but I wouldn't take them back because they all led to where I'm at now. So I don't live my life like that. I don't live my life with regrets. I live my life with, you know, I think that everything was the way God planned it. And I was meant to go through whatever that was. And even in many of those things, I probably still haven't learned the full lesson of them. Mm-hmm. And so I still want them there. So
it's a beautiful answer, but I was really thinking he was going to be like, I would have never pawned you off to my friend. That's what I was kind of.
I didn't.
Open the door.
You ended up marrying me.
Okay, go.
All right. If you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, cuisine.
Oh,
what would it be?
Easy. Mexican.
It'd be Mexican?
Easy. Are you kidding?
Tacos every day.
For breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, as a dessert.
Breakfast tacos,
yes.
lunch tacos, dinner
with some
tacos.
Huevitos and chorizo, with some, like, come on now, you Mexican.
For the record, I would too.
Okay. Only listen to one musical artist from here forward. Who would it be?
Man, this sucks because I don't want to give this answer. I really don't want to give this answer. But because anyone who knows me or follows me knows that I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. My license plates used to say Hova. And
I can confirm.
yeah, I'm a huge Jay fan. But I don't know, man. Like Drake's catalog is so crazy. If I had one artist for the rest of my life,
Really?
yeah, because look, Drake covered techno. He covered love songs. He has such a huge catalog that no matter what my mood is, Jay is just gangster rap and love rap, like right.
I'm surprised because listen, the more y'all know Jay, he has a very like diverse ear. Sade, Prince.
That's my favorite artist.
Yeah,
Both of
like
those.
he has a huge like a diverse ear. So you're gonna go with Drake.
Yeah, because if it was like Sade, I'd just I don't know. I'd probably be in a mood all the time.
That's true.
I'd be vibing the whole time.
That's true.
I need something that also can get me up and going. You know, where Drake got stuff with Future, I could lift. You can't lift the Sade. You know what I mean? I can't be
in
there.
the gym.
I can't be there purple, right? I can't have Prince on that.
Okay.
So,
Good,
yeah.
good. Okay. Good.
Okay, and all right. Now, tell me the last thing that you bought that's under $100 that has changed your life. I already know the answer to this.
That's a good question. He does know the answer to this. Some of y'all who've been watching my Instagram stories know the answer to this.
Okay, but let's go away from that. We'll let you give that as a shout out, but then take that away and we'll go for the last 10 years.
Oh, the
But go
last
ahead.
10 years?
But go ahead and drop that one. I already know what it is.
Okay, I should really be sponsored by these people. Okay, Mom Cozy pregnancy pillow. Listen, I'm coming up on
loves that
7
damn
months
pillow.
pregnant, right? I've been looking for a pillow. I bought like 2 different ones. They sucked. I kept tossing and turning. Now, mind you, I think I started tossing and turning at like 6 weeks, like
Yeah.
super early in my pregnancy, and I found this thing. Yo, I feel like I'm inside of a womb. Yes, my husband. One morning I woke up and I'm like, he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Man, my throat is really raspy." He's like, "Yeah, because you were snoring like a fucking grizzly bear last night."
And she doesn't snore.
And I don't snore. And I'm
She
like,
does- she's never
I
snored.
thought he was bullshitting. I'm like, no way. I don't snore, honey. Because he's always said that, like, you never snore. And this thing, first of all, I did not move all night. Did not
all.
move at
like
all.
a corpse.
That's what he's like. He's like, I had to check your, like, are you breathing? You know? And then he was like, all of a sudden, I thought the dog was in the room. We have a French bulldog. And if y'all don't know, that breed snorts a lot and it snores as well. So she snores. And he was like, I thought she got in the bed with us in the middle of the night and was snoring. So I'm up looking for Brooklyn. And lo and behold, I look over.
And it was my grizzly bear wife.
So Mom Cozy. And even if you're not pregnant, ladies, go get you one. Now, the last 10 years,
Yeah, like what is something that you like, man, I'm glad I bought that.
under $100, last 10
$100.
years. That's a really good question. I don't really have life-changing things like that.
You know what mine is? My facial routine. Before my wife, I didn't really have a facial
You spend
routine.
under $100 for your facial routine?
Yeah.
First of all, we'll have to talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not, yeah. But before my wife, I didn't really have a facial routine. I would just take the soap and use a little spit and wipe it
Leave
on
her
there.
2000 and just
I was straight.
from here to here to here.
But I can say that, now I have a good skin routine
Yeah.
at night. And it's, I think under $100. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
probably if you bought everything in the biggest size, it'd be over 100. But, you could do it for under $100.
Yes, I still don't have one.
Okay.
I don't
Then
have
you
many
go with
life-changing-
the question. We'll stick with Mom Cozy.
Mom Cozy.
Shout out to Mom Cozy
Shout out
for
to
getting
Mom
my wife
Cozy.
some sleep.
I need some Brandon material. Cool. And my turn?
Yeah.
Last one. If you could speak to any person, dead or alive,
Yeah.
who would it be?
I answered this once before. I thought I liked my answer. Who did I pick? I remember I put this out. I have a real answer. Some people were giving me such beautiful answers. I would talk to my dead grandma. Man, I don't want to hear that shit. Shout out to my grandfather. He was an amazing man.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to my grandpa. But if I could talk to anyone dead or alive, I would love to have conversations with somebody like a Warren Buffett. I'm a big Warren Buffett fan. I would love to speak to Basquiat. He's passed away. Basquiat is my favorite artist. Yeah, I would probably say one of those two. Just because they're people who really inspired me. I also would love to have conversations with Jay-Z. Many of you guys don't realize this, but I worked with Roc Nation for a long time, and I had seen him a couple times, but I never actually had to have no real conversations.
One-on-one.
Yeah, and I would love to just sit down and have a conversation with him. I think that he's an absolute genius. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. He's done a lot for my culture.
He's someone I want to talk to. For sure.
I love
Oprah.
the fact that he just shut down that BET negotiation. He shut that down. So I love that. I love people. I don't know, people who make really, really strong business moves. I really, really respect. So it would have to be one of those. You got one? You have somebody to talk to?
Yeah, I think you hit one. Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Oprah. Selena. I would have loved to have
Anything
warned her.
for Salinas.
I would have loved to have warned her. Like, look out. Just a snake. Just a snake. And
is our killer still alive?
yes, unfortunately.
She
Just got out. So she appealed. She tried to get parole. She didn't get out. She didn't get out. She tried to get out, and she had said some dumb shit like, I've done enough years or whatever. Like, I've done my time. Bitch, no, you have not. Not till you rot in hell.
Damn.
Respectfully.
Do you think she can even have a normal life if she got out?
Hell no.
I think everyone.
No.
Someone would probably kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't.
She can't walk the streets. There's a green light on her, and she don't even know it. She don't even need the mafia to green light her.
I feel bad for her because she's super old now. She's like someone's abuela, but like, no, like no. For her to just the audacity to be like, I've done my time. I feel like it's success. Whatever her direct quote was, she was alluding to the fact that she feels like she did more than enough time. Wow. Ma'am, more than enough time? You didn't just kill like a woman. You killed a legacy. You killed my hopes, my dreams.
Damn. So you wanted to be Selena?
I wanted to be Selena when I was growing up. That's a fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bitty bitty bum bum. A bitty 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 bum bump.
Bitty bitty bum bump. Yeah, no, she
That's who you were influenced the most by?
Yeah, because growing up, I didn't see, on TV, all we saw was like white women. Even in our novelas, they're all like rubias.
It was white women in the...
Man, they're all, blonde hair, green-eyed,
Yo, sneaking white women in the novelas?
No, first of all, a lot of Latinas are white passing.
Oh, okay.
Not a judgment. I'm just saying, back in those days, Cristela and all of these, novelas, they all picked beautiful women, and beautiful at that time was not me. Was not morena, was not India, was not indigenous. It was rubias, like blonde hair. And there are some gingers. There's some, again, green-eyed, beautiful women, not taken away from it. But at that time, that was beauty, and that's what you put on TV. So I didn't see anyone that looked like me until I saw Selena. And then I saw Selena like blow up. And she was talented and charismatic and a good person, a good heart. But more during my, I was going into, I think, junior high. I saw her embraced by both sides. I saw her cross over, and I was in my, La Puente, East LA area. I was not accepted. I wasn't Mexican enough. We all hear this. Ni de aquí, ni de allá. Wasn't Mexican enough, wasn't American enough. So to see Selena accepted by both, I'm like, how did she?
Happen.
It's possible, And then in a way, also, she was in arts, and I thought that's the way to do it. You got to be like a creative, you got to be an artist, you got to, and then for me at that time, we're getting to different.
Wait, let's just pause on that real quick. So think about that for a second. She thought that's the way you got to do it. You couldn't do it just by being a phenomenal doctor or a great business person.
Where would I have seen that?
Right.
Where would I have seen that? There was no Instagram, YouTube. There was no, and in my hood, because it's what it was, in my hood, none of the cholis on my corner were fucking doctors.
You either got a wicked
they were
jump shot
gangbangers,
or you slang crack rock.
Or they're mechanics, or again, no judgment to any of that. But at the time, all you would see, all you had access to was the corners of your block. And there was no lawyers and doctors and, a lot of them were housekeepers. A lot of them were mechanics. A lot of them were just housewives. Nothing wrong with that. But that's what I saw. So when I would watch TV on the old school TV, that big ass, heavy ass wood, yes.
You had to turn it with the pliers sometimes. When
you turn it off, it's
exactly. Where
glowing.
did the knob go? When we would always, remember on them TVs, where would the knob go?
I have no idea.
And then we'd have to use pliers to turn it.
I have no idea.
And you'd be trying to sneak and watch it late at night, and you like.
Let me tell you. Also, super side note, but also Living Color. Yeah. Living Color in my life. Because at night,
that influenced you.
Yes, Living Color was comedy. It was vibrant. I was into the arts.
For those of you guys who don't know, please go see an episode of In Living Color.
YouTube it.
It was like a sketch comedy show.
All the greats came out of there.
Back in my day.
Jim Carrey, Alan Greer, the Wayans brothers, all of them came from there. But I remember my parents wouldn't let me see this because it was like adult content, and I think also low key it's because it wasn't Mexican. It was black, and so I would sneak, right? But to your point, I would have to put it on. Check this out. Here's how I knew. Even on 0, you could still hear. You put that bitch on 0 and you could still put your ear kind of to it. You could still hear volume. And then there was one morning I somehow stayed up all night and my parents walked in and they could see the TV was still like glowing. And they're like, Karina, you were, no, I wasn't. I was sleeping. The TV is glowing. And they touched it. It's hot. I'm like, oh shit.
My bad.
But yeah, so.
Well, thank you guys. We're gonna wrap up this episode. But what are we gonna be talking about next? What do you want to talk about next? We have so much.
We have so much. I think we'll talk about IVF, our IVF journey.
Okay.
On our next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because by that time she'll be probably here by the time that we do the next episode. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So we will talk about our IVF journey, and then we have so many other. But more importantly, what we want you guys to do is like, subscribe, share it to your friends. If you felt like this episode sucked, do me a favor, just come back and watch one more. We're just warming up.
Right.
We're just warming up. I ain't no damn TV host, right? But come back and give us another shot. And then also, what I want you guys to do is drop below in the comment section things that you want to hear from us. If you guys want us to bring on, and I want you guys to just let your imagination be as big as possible. Now, I can't get Jeff Bezos to come sit down in my
can't promise Beyonce.
humble home,
right.
home or nothing like that. But I can definitely have great conversations about damn near anything. Mm-hmm. That's I guess the whole premise of this podcast is that we have access to a lot of people who do a lot of great things. So drop some ideas in the comment section of stuff you want to hear,
questions, topics, people. Yeah.
Just keep in mind you're only a couple moves away. Thank you guys. See you guys next week.
Bye.